Welcome to the Synthesizer Fortune Teller, where we will predict Moog's next synthesizer, Arturia's next synthesizer, Behringer's next synthesizer, Korg's next synthesizer, Roland's next synthesizer, and maybe Novation's next synthesizer. And we all know that Sequential is never going to make another new synthesizer, so we probably don't need to predict them. Nice little coffee here. Beautiful day. Little League Baseball going on in the background. Synth Renegade Mafia in the house. What's up, Conductive? Yeah, I figured I was just upstairs thinking. I was like, man, I'm thinking about what some of these new synthesizers could be. And I was like, why don't I just pop on here and we can kind of go through it together. But, I mean, I've predicted, I think as of right now, I've predicted the last 10 new synthesizers. I've predicted them before they came out. Now, don't get me wrong. I might have had the name wrong, but I pretty much had everything else right. You know, I pretty much had the specs right. Even some of them, I got the color schemes right. And, you know, I've been known to be synth clairvoyant. That's what some people have said. I don't think so. I think it's just seeing patterns in the industry, seeing patterns in what the companies have out, what markets have open space for another company to enter into and try to get a piece of the synth pie. And yeah, that's where we're coming from. So this morning over this little coffee, in the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we will hopefully nail down the next big synthesizer releases from the top companies. All right, and we'll do it together. So let's, since we're going to talk about what are the next possible synthesizers that are coming, maybe we should just take a walk down memory lane and think about which ones just came out, like the major ones that just got released by these companies, and then that'll give us a better idea of potentially what might be their next ones. And then right after that, we'll talk about where are some market gaps in certain areas that certain companies can slide into and grab a piece of cheese. All right, so. Oh yeah, I forgot a Shun sound machine, ASM. I forgot about them too. But me and ASM got some beef at the moment because their employees have been talking a lot of jive behind the scenes on the back channels about me and a lot of the other brethren that our crew runs with, if you want to call it a crew. All right, so let's think about it. Let's start from Moog. Moog just came out with two absolutely amazing synthesizers. They came out with the Moog Muse and the Moog Messenger. The Moog Muse was a bridge between Moog Music Inc. and InMusic, the company that saved Moog. And what they had to do with that real special synthesizers, they had to give all the Moog purists and the Moog loyal Moog fan base, customer base, they had to give them a synthesizer that would still instill a sense of pride, a sense of eloquent and excellent sound design and aesthetics. So the Moog Muse was basically, do not worry. Here is an 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer. Everything we wanted the Moog 1 to be, this is what it is. And you can trust us, even though we've been purchased by InMusic, and even though we are now part of a giant monster company. This is our handshake to you that you can trust us, that we're still going to put out high quality Moog products, even though they're going to be made overseas and Taiwan and blah blah blah. So they did the Muse. Next up, not too long after, they came out with the Moog Messenger, which is let's call that the baby. You got the baby, and then you got let's say the young man. All right, so the Moog Muse is a young man. The Messenger is a baby. What the Moog Messenger is a synthesizer that is geared towards beginners, but also a Moog purist can absolutely fall in love with. And I know that now because I've spoke to so many people who have it, and these are real sonic friggin', what do you want to call them? Sonic savants. And when they tell me that this thing sounds as good as it does, then I know it's for real. So, and I know the Moog Messenger got the bona fides, got the sound, sounds great. Next up on the list in that little thing is it's an entry-level synthesizer that will color the sonic palette of an entry, a beginner, a new person to synthesis. The Moog Messenger will color that sonic palette in that person's whole life. So that'll go on their whole history now, their whole future of synthesis. Their sonic palette will be colored with that super elegant sound of the Moog Messenger. And it sounds amazing. It's got that old school vibe, but it's also got a futuristic aspect when it comes to the sound. And it's got some cool features like the resonance bass boost. It's got the wave shaper, and it's got no screen, but it's super intuitive. I was watching, me and Hans were on a video call yesterday. He was going through the aftertouch features and how simply it is to just assign those parameters to anything on the whole entire board. So the Moog Messenger is the entry-level synth, and you can just go to Sweetwater and see how they frame their marketing video. They're framing it towards a beginner synthesis messenger, and it's great. And for $800, $900 or whatever it is, I don't think you can go wrong. Especially, they're going to have to do some pricing adjustments now with the what's up, Rourke? Get Jervis Conductive. What's happening? They're going to have to do a lot of pricing adjustments now with the Moog Sound Studio, because you cannot sell a Mother 32 and a DFAM and a Subharmonicon for $700 when you can get a Moog Messenger for $900. I guess you can. I don't think you can. I think they need to be $499, in my personal opinion. And they probably cost $150 to make or something, you know. So that's where Moog just released. That's their latest too. Now we'll move on to Arturia. Arturia just released, not just, but their latest was their absolute flagship monster, the Polybrute 12, a 12-voice analog beast that they released some super amazing new full touch technology that goes way beyond polyphonic aftertouch. It allows you to have modulations through the whole stroke of the key polyphonically, which is insane. But also, I heard that if you do anything to the key bed, you got to send it to France to fix it, which is a little bit of a nightmare. But it's a monster. I love the Cream Dream. All the boys in the UK love the Cream Dream. Okay, I call the UK fellas, I call them the cupcake gang, because they're all over that Cream Dream. Now, all Americans like the Moog Muse, so it's kind of a little bit like Europe versus USA. I had a bunch of people who talked to Sweetwater. Sweetwater said they can't keep Muses on the shelf. They can't keep Messengers on the shelf, but Polybrutes aren't selling at all that well in America. Not at all. But they're selling like gangbusters over via Thomann in Europe. So it's very interesting. A Messenger module would be very interesting. A Messenger module at $599, that would be pretty interesting. Tactical MIDI, that's a great idea. So that's what Arturia's got, and they're constantly evolving their Freak series. They just dropped their vocoder update in the Freak series. They did a granular and a sampler update not that long ago as well. So the Mini Freak and the Micro Freak are amazing, and we can predict what's going to come next from that in a little bit. Now, next up on the block is Behringer. Behringer just released the Behringer Wave, the Lin drum, the LM drum, and what's their latest one? Did they come out with another one since then? The Behringer Wave. I'll think about it in a minute. But that's the two big ones. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to all the papas out there. And Behringer has got, the thing about Behringer, they're like an open faucet. So they have a constant stream of synthesizers that are just rolling out nonstop. We had Korg just come out with the Korg Multi-Poly, which to me is the synthesizer of the year. It's the 2025 synthesizer of the year, in my opinion. But now I think Moog Messenger is up there in competition, because they're both at the same price, totally different beasts. But the Multi-Poly module, not the keyboard. The Multi-Poly module is up for Synth of the Year 2025. And now I think the Moog Messenger is also up there for Synth of the Year 2025. So that's where we are with Korg. Now we move to Roland. Roland hasn't had anything super exciting. They had the Roland D come out, which is not very exciting. They had the Gaia 2 come out. And then They've had the SH4D. That's pretty much their most recent ones. And I think out of all those, the SH4D is probably the most interesting. But it's like, it's kind of got that old, ugly Roland black look. You know, it's just dated. Still, it's like they're still got that Japanesey vibe. Nothing wrong with it, but a lot of times the Japanese hardware looks dated. You know, so if you look at Sonicware and the Ambient Zero and all those things, they're amazing sonic monsters, but they're dated. Right? They got a dated look to them, and dated can be translated to Japanese. Japanese hardware looks dated. It just does, right? And I love Japan. Um, but yeah, their hardware looks dated. If you go to Japan, a lot of stuff is still dated because they made stuff to last. The Japanese made stuff to not break. They took a long time to get involved in the controlled obsolescence, you know, planned obsolescence. So Japan took forever to get on board with making things to break at a certain amount of time. Where America and Europe, they caught on real quick. If you want to go watch a documentary called The Light Bulb Conspiracy, that's when it first began. There's a light bulb still in one fire hall in America. It's over 100 years old, still works. So what happened in The Light Bulb Conspiracy, the movie, is they came in, the engineers were, their goal was to make a light bulb that lasts forever. And then the big dogs came into the factory. They're like, hey, George, we need you to make that light bulb to break in 7 months. And they're like, what? It's like, yep, I know. And they're like, but why do I want to make it to break? And they're like, George, this is why you make the light bulbs and we sell the light bulbs, okay? If we make one light bulb that lasts forever, nobody's going to buy another light bulb. So they went in there, and that's when planned obsolescence was born in the light bulb industry. And then that carried over into the electronics, dishwashers, dryers, anything you buy now, it's got planned obsolescence built in. Cars, things break at certain times. They don't make them to make forever because you need a customer for life. And if you give them a product that lasts for life, you have a customer once, right? So that's where planned obsolescence came in. Anyways, back off of that. So that's why Japanese took forever to get involved in planned obsolescence. They didn't do that as quick as Europe and America. So that's why a lot of their stuff looks dated, because it don't break, it lasts forever. So that's the big dogs, and we all know that Novation and Sequential, they're slow moving. Focusrite doesn't move quick with these guys. Like Sequential, all they really do is whack some high-priced wood on their old synthesizers and put it out as an anniversary edition. I don't think they're coming with anything new anytime soon. I'd be surprised. But if they do come with something, I don't think they're coming with anything, to be honest with you. I think they're not coming with nothing. If anything, they're going to come with something that'll replace the Prophet 12 or the Prophet X. Maybe they'll do something like that, because that's a zone that isn't filled, and maybe they'll throw something out there to compete with the third wave or something like that. But Sequential's locked into their style. They got hardcore people who are Sequential bros for life. The Trigon is 3 years old. The marketing on the Trigon sucked. Nobody even talks about it or knows about it. And also the marketing for the Pro 3 sucks. It's the synthesizer that nobody knows about. People know about it, but I don't see anyone who owns one. I think the only Pro 3 out there owned by a human being is SynthPunk. He's the only one who owns a Pro 3. I've never seen or met anybody who owns a Pro 3, and I got to chalk that down to absolute horrible marketing, right? So if they threw the Pro 3 out to the Synth Mafia, you know what Synth Mafia does? They make one video, take their synthesizer, and then they don't make any more videos. So you get to see it once. So Jervis got one. So we got two people on planet Earth who own a Pro 3, SynthPunk and Jervis. And that's where they are. Oh yeah, the Pro 3 SE flip top. If you're going to get a Pro 3, you got to get the flip top. It's gorgeous. Those wood cheeks are beautiful. Are they walnut, Kit Jervis? Are the wood cheeks walnut? What's up, Patch Dog? Yeah, talk about planned obsolescence. Yeah, that's another show. I get a lot of heat when I talk about that stuff, but I don't care. Sometimes you just got to say it how it is, because everybody's sleepwalking around this Terra Infinita. Okay, so that's the history of what we got built up over the last couple years. Now we go into the actual fortune telling, and try to predict the synthesizers that are coming. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I think I'm 10 for 10 or 12 for 12 with synth predictions. I haven't always got the name right. I haven't always got all the specs right. I haven't even always got all the colors right. But I definitely have predicted the last 12 synthesizers from all the companies. All right? Yeah, if the Pro 3 cost $899, everyone will buy one. That's right. But the Pro 3 is well over $2,000. And I think that they're never going to lower that price because it was Dave Smith's baby. Dave Smith said it's the only synth you ever need to own. I think he said something like that. Or maybe Synthpunk just said that to me to try and convince me to buy his. I don't know. All right, so Moog. Let's start with Moog. So Moog's next synthesizer, if you ask me, if we separate the sound studio, the Moog sound studio, because that's getting pretty elegant itself. You've got the Mother 32, the DFAM, Subharmonicon, Spectravox, the Labyrinth, and then you got those two little toy things, the Mavis and the Wurzelkat, or whatever it's called, the Wurzelschurker. So the Moog sound studio is a beautiful little self-contained organism over there. I don't know what they're going to do with production with the Moog Grandmother and the Moog Matriarch, Dark Editions. They have a very beautiful aesthetic going on now with that like matte kind of semi-gloss black with some orange, some baby blue, yellow, and red in there, and that ivory white. So that's a beautiful aesthetic they have happening. I love it. But next up, so we've got the baby and we got the big boy. So we got the Muse and we got the Messenger. We all know that the middle child is coming. And for the sake of argument, I'm going to call it the Moog Maverick right now. All right, so we got the Moog Muse, the Moog Messenger, and now we got the Moog Maverick. And the Moog Maverick, to me, if I'm looking at the market and I'm looking at competition, we have to look at Sequential and Oberheim, Take 5, TE05. So we got a market there for a 5 voice, okay? So that would give Moog its 8 voice polyphonic, with the chance to upgrade that to 16 voices later, which will probably be called the Moog Mirror, which will be 2 Moog Muses engines inside of one synthesizer, a massive flagship Moog 1-ish style keyboard, which will be called the Moog Mirror. That'll be a 16 voice, but I don't know when that's going to come. That would be a monster. But the middle child is probably next, and we're probably looking at something in the form factor of a Voyager, you know? But where the Voyager was monophonic, the market is predicting that Moog needs a 5 voice. A 4 voice at a minimum, but a 5 voice would be absolutely fantastic. And that would give InMusic the ability to cut into the Take 5 and the TE05 market. Because those two now are dominated, and they're both coming in at $13.99 or $14.99. So let's just, for the sake of argument, say we got a $1,500 synth market that there's a 5 voice synthesizer that has the ability to enter that market. And then when you look at Moog's setup, they've got the Messenger entry level. If you've bought a Messenger now, you're going to love it. And you're going to be colored with that sound. And you're going to be bought into the Moog company because it's so good for $8.99 sound-wise. So that means if you bought a Moog Messenger, you're probably going to buy the middle child, which for the sake of argument now, just so we got a name, we're calling the Moog Maverick. And the Moog Maverick, in my opinion, will be a 5 voice, same style setup as the Take 5 or TE05, or maybe if they were super, super smart, they would do it in a flip-top Voyager, because that would give you aesthetically 3 gorgeous synthesizers. You would get the Muse with the 8 voice polyphonic, gorgeous synthesizer with that baby blue, the yellow, the reddish orange, and the ivory. You got the Moog Messenger with the black and the orange, very basic, and then you're coming in with the Moog Maverick, which would be a 5 voice polyphonic synthesizer that would be a monster, and it would have a few more goodies in there, and it would allow everybody to have a polyphonic Moog Muse, but it's expensive, so there's not a lot of people that can afford 30. Not everybody's Echo Craft, okay? Everybody's not running an underground bootleg merch industry like Echo Craft, okay? Not everybody's driving transit vans into Boston every weekend and selling Moog t-shirts out of the back of it, like friggin' Tony Synthprano, okay? Not everybody's Echo Craft, okay? So no, not everybody can get a Moog Muse. But if you can pick up a polyphonic 5 voice Moog that's a flip top, that's a totally iconic look for $1,500, I'll guarantee you right now that everybody who owns a Messenger will buy the Moog Maverick. Everybody will. Everybody. Chat format sucks with this stream type. Roy Droid Void. Why? I don't mind it. This stream type is way more promoted by YouTube. It's way more pushed. YouTube wants more vertical because most people watch videos on their phone held vertically. So if you do a vertical style video, YouTube gives you more juice. That's just the way it is. So I don't mind this chat stream as the presenter of the information. It's way easier to read this as I'm presenting this style chat stream. So it's not good for the chatter, but it's good for the presenter, in my opinion. So, what's up, King of Synthesizers? King of Synthesizers, here he is. This is the one of two men on planet Earth who own a Pro 3. Get Jervis and the King of Synthesizers, aka Synthpunk. If anybody doesn't know, King of Synthesizers is Synthpunk. Go check out his channel if you want to see what he's doing these days. Yeah. And to be honest, it's very easy for me to prepare to do a stream like this if I can just grab my phone, hold up my hand. I don't need a tripod. I don't need a microphone. I don't need anything. All I need is this beautiful Synth Renegade Mafia hat with this gorgeous Viking Synth Renegade shirt. Okay? That's all we need. Do you know what I mean? Perfect. So, that's what I think got coming for Moog in the very near future, but near just means I think the Moog Messenger will end up being the most sold synthesizer, up to the level of the Korg. What is it? The Micro Korg. I think the Micro Korg, I don't know if that might be the most sold synthesizer of all time, but I think the Moog Messenger at $899 might end up being one of the most sold synthesizers. I think Behringer's Pro 800's up there. I'd love to see a Behringer Pro 800 in like a form factor of the Messenger, an MS1 style, you know, where you have some keys on it because it's such a powerful synthesizer. So anyways, let's move on. So then we move into Arturia. Arturia's fortune-telling, synth prediction, clairvoyancy, what I see for Arturia. I see Arturia coming out with a 49 plus key Mega Freak, Super Freak, The Freak, which will be a flagship synthesizer in the Freak series. Digital oscillators, analog filters, polyphonic aftertouch, maybe even full touch. Can you imagine a mini Freak that has the full touch keybed built into it, which is a flagship in the Freak series? More than anything right now, if a synthesizer came out from any company right now, La Freak, Super Freak, Mega Freak from Arturia would be the one that I would buy. So if a bunch of companies release synthesizers right now, boom, 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 I would buy the Arturia Super Freak. Let's just call it a Super Freak because it's easy to remember right now. So I would get the Arturia Super Freak because the Mini Freak is so powerful for what it is, and at $599, it's a steal. Everybody should have one. But a Super Freak in a Hydrasynth 49 key model with a beautiful interface laid out, a little bit of a bigger screen maybe, maybe not even a bigger screen because their screen is very, very elegant for how small it is. It's like, it's small, but it's awesome. So that's what I see coming. I see a Super Freak, a crap ton of digital oscillators, probably dual filters. If they threw two analog filters, the ladder and the Steiner Parker filter in there, okay? So you have a dual filter that you can run in series or parallel would be fantastic. They already got an absolute gorgeous effects suite on the Arturia Freak series, and the oscillators are amazing, and the Freak series constantly updated. So that's almost like only just going and whacking the whole operating system into a 49 key, throwing in at the minimum polyphonic aftertouch, but at the maximum, if they threw the full touch keybed on a digital hybrid analog monster, it would just blow minds. Because say what you want, the Polybrew 12 is amazing, but it's gigantor. It's huge. It's too big for most people, okay? Too big in price, too big in size. For me, my dream is to cream with the Cream Dream, and I just can't afford it. There's no way I can possibly get it, right? If everybody's here, if you don't mind liking the video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the video. Please do all the other stuff. If it's your first time here, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the community. And yeah, buckle up. Like I said, our tagline is predictably unpredictable, because a lot of the synth companies said they don't want to work with people who are unpredictable. So I'm predictably unpredictable. But I'll tell you one thing I am. I'm the king of glaze. Nobody can glaze like I can. Although Tim Shoebridge did a video on the Muse yesterday. Everybody go watch Tim Shoebridge's video from the Muse yesterday. If you want to see AAA level glaze, and we're talking the finest glaze, we're talking that 3 o'clock in the afternoon tea type of glaze, okay? With a little biscuit, with some, with a little bit of that English icing. That's the kind of glaze that Tim Shoebridge did yesterday. AAA PhD level glaze session. Go watch it. His video is 20 minutes. First 10 minutes is absolute grade A, non-GMO, pesticide-free glaze, baby. And I sent it to Echo. I was like, Echo, bro, sit down and take Tim Shoebridge's class here for sure, because this is AAA level glaze on the Muse. And I think he probably got contacted by Moog, and Moog said, hey, dude, do not be talking about the Moog Muse like you're talking, man. Come on. Can you please just kind of do another video and give us some of that Shoebridge glaze? And Tim Shoebridge was probably like, all right, I'll glaze it up for you. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, send me a messenger. So my guess right now is, this is my prediction as well, you will see a Moog Messenger video from Tim Shoebridge in T-minus 3 weeks. Okay, because the AAA level glaze that Tim Shoebridge threw out there yesterday is deserving of a Moog Muse. And one thing we can say about old Timmy Shoebridge, he's predictable, but he's also a Mustang, you know. Tim Shoebridge don't mind speaking his mind every once in a while. And, you know what I mean? Tim Shoebridge, Starsky Car. Starsky Car has AAA glaze. Starsky Car has AAA glaze. And who else got some AAA glaze? Midlife Synthesis has the highest level artificial ingredient, full GMO, glyphosate level glaze ever. I don't think there's anybody who has as artificial glaze as the Midlife Shill Assist. Nobody has the artificial glaze like that guy. And it's just hilarious to watch him glaze. But anyway, we're not here to be mean. Okay. Oh yeah, Harp Lady has, she might even have that 4D glaze. She might have surpassed AAA glaze, and the Harp Lady is up there in that 4D level glaze where I don't think anybody glazes like she can, because she adds in the glaze of, she's a chick, so she's already got one advantage, because YouTube is 95% dudes. So by being a chick, you're already got a massive advantage. Then you got her, she's got a comedic factor, great. She can glaze big time, and she's got epic video team working behind her. She's got a whole team of people working great on all her content, and she's unabashedly shills. So I think that's fine. When you shill and you don't try to pretend you're not a shill, then that's like, I respect that more than anything, right? I respect that more than anything. So she shills and says she shills, so that's cool to me. The Midlife Shill Assist starts his videos with, I'm not a shill, trust me. And I think that's just hilarious too, but everybody knows you're one of the, you're on the all-star team of shills. There's like, you can name them. Throw them down in the chat. Who's on the all-star team of synth shillers? Lay them out. If you had to do a starting 5 lineup for the synthesizer shill all-star game, who would be the starting 5 in the synth shill all-star team? I think Devin Belonger, or whatever his name is. What's his name? Devin Belonger. What's his old name? Miles Away. So Miles Away. No, Patch Dog, not on that team. Miles Away. All right, Patch Dog, you can be the coach. Patch Dog is the coach of the Shill All-Star team. Who is the starting 5 of the Shill All-Star team? I got to put midlife shill assist. I got to put miles away from reality. That term was coined by synth punk. I'll have to put Andrew Wang, and then we need 2 more. Ben Jordan? I don't think Ben Jordan shills anything anymore. His shilling is very high level and highly curated. You know what I mean? He only shills if he gets paid top dollar. Bob? Yeah. Bo Beats is on there. Okay, so we got midlife shell assist, Bob Eats, Miles Away from Reality, Andrew Wang, and Harp Lady. That's probably the 5 right there. Lou Pop? Yeah, Lou Pop is a cerebral shill, so he shills while pretending that he's not shilling. So that's funny too. Yeah, EQ, if you're gonna shill like you mean it. I always said that. Throw on the t-shirt. If you're gonna shill a Moog synthesizer, don't pretend you're just some bedroom friggin' musician who got this synthesizer because he's just in love with it and learned it inside and out and put out a generic marketing video. Don't think that that's I mean, are people really fooled by all that these days? And I'm not hating on them. I think it's awesome when people get free synthesizers and they they spend massive amounts of time making highly edited commercials for the synthesizer companies. I think that's awesome. If you want to do that, that's cool. If that's your thing, that's your thing. Go for it. Go ahead and hit the like button. Yeah, don't be shy. Be sly. That should be the expression. Don't be shy, be sly. Okay, so that's Arturia. So just a quick recap. Moog Maverick is going to be a mid 5-voice polyphonic synthesizer that'll be in between the Messenger and the Moog Muse, hopefully a flip top. Arturia is going to be a flagship 49 key plus synthesizer in the Freak series, hopefully with at minimum 24 voices would be crazy, and then a full touch keybed, but at the minimum polyphonic aftertouch keybed. That would be cool. Now we move into Behringer. So Behringer's fortune telling synth prediction. What's coming next? I think next on the Behringer list might be the Juno clone. I think the Juno synthesizer might be their next release. I could be wrong because they throw curveballs all the time. I know they got the DMX Oberheim drum machine clone, the BMX coming, and I know they've got the Juno clone coming, formerly known as Neptune 80, an 8-voice Juno. That's coming. And I think the tip-off is when they put that new prom dress on the DeepMind, which was an ode to the Juno style, because everyone was saying it was a Juno clone. I think the Juno, the Neptune 80, a.k.a. maybe it's got a new name, the Neptune 80 will be beautiful. Polyphonic aftertouch, 8 voices. I'm not sure what it's going to have in it, but it'll probably have all the Junos in it, which will be cool. And that's what I'm thinking. Patchdog's working on a video right now, baby. So let's hope that that's the next one. But you never know, because Behringer's got an absolute all-star team of content creators working on things at all times. They just put out the Behringer Truth speakers. I got to buy a set of those just because of the name. Hey, who's a Behringer Truther in the chat? Throw a big capital B in the chat if you're a Behringer Truther, because Behringer Truthers are all over the world. All right, so that's what I think's coming from Behringer. But don't forget, we got a Pro 16, the Prophet 5 clone coming. We've got the Jupiter clone coming. I can't even remember the name of that one now. The JP 16. So we got a 16-voice Jupiter clone coming from Behringer. We got a DMX Oberheim drum machine clone coming from Behringer. We've got we also got the VCS3, I think it's called, which we'll probably end up calling the BCS3 one coming. And we going fishing?
Going to Maine.
Sweet. You gonna stay tonight?
Either that or at your place.
Okay, yeah, cool.
But I might be coming in late. That's the only problem. I don't know, you know?
Yeah, well, whatever. That's cool. If you catch a striper, bring it.
If it's in the slot.
We'll throw it on the barbecue. Yeah, if you...
Yeah, but you got to work early.
Yeah, but that's fine. What, will you stay tonight and tomorrow night? Or just tomorrow, just tonight, maybe?
Oh, I you know, I'm even thinking I may even be driving back. You know.
Okay. Well, good luck. Yeah. So, yeah. So Behringer could have a plethora of things coming, but my prediction is it'll be the Neptune 80 with a new name and a beautiful look, gorgeous coming. Shout out to the black and yellow team, black and yellow, patch dog baby, black and yellow baby. I got to get my black and yellow gear ordered on the website. If you go check it out, I got black and yellow hat, black and yellow T-shirt, because I think black and yellow is an awesome theme for all the Behringer bros out there. We can throw on the black and yellow gear, wear it around, rep the black and yellow team. It's cool. And I'm also going to be doing a unofficial Behringer Bro anthem called Wasp and Yellow. And I got the lyrics wrote for it already. If you watched my live stream the other day, I got AI help me write the lyrics in about 10 seconds. And it came out absolutely perfect. I couldn't have wrote them better. I might change a couple things, but it's good. I got some other things in the works. So the unofficial Behringer anthem, Wasp and Yellow, will be coming with a full-fledged video production, MTV style, rags to riches, Wasp and Yellow video. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, back to the synths. Mixmaster, what's up? Alex C. I have a pair of Behringer Truths for almost 20 years, and they're huge subs. Yeah, I'm getting the Behringer Truths. I'm buying the white ones because I love the color white. White's my favorite color next to neon pink. I like neon, yellow, pink, and green because of Ultimate Warrior, but more especially neon green and neon orange. I actually got a pair of Speedos coming for the beach this summer, Ultimate Warrior Speedos. Neon orange with the green Ultimate Warrior symbol right on the crotch. So they should be in soon. And I got them also in a bicycle MMA short version. So I don't know. If I go to this one beach in Algonquin, Maine, I'll put on the Speedos because everybody there wears Speedos. All the French Canadians come down and wear Speedos. So I just like to fit in there, you know, and just, you know, I like to blend in when I go places. And then when I go to the regular beaches, I'll just wear my MMA orange ones with the Ultimate Warrior logo on the left butt cheek. So anyways, so that's the Behringer synths that are coming. Super exciting. And we're getting into summer now. I'm guessing maybe July we could see something cool coming from somebody. And now if we move on, yeah, the Behringer Moose Knuckle. Trademark the Behringer Moose Knuckle. So then we move on to what's up next? Korg. So Korg, I don't know what Korg's going to do next, but I really liked how they did a tribute to the monopoly synthesizer, and they created the multi-poly, which is cool. And I think we could maybe look ahead to some more tributes that are in the digital realm. I think the Korg, let's call it the Raspberry Pi series. The Korg Raspberry Pi series, I think, knocked it out of the park. I'm a Korgi and a Behringer bro, so people on the forums over at Gearspace have labeled us Borgies, which is cool to me. It's a cyborg Behringer bro and a Korgi, right? The most powerful synth species on the planet is a Borgie. Nothing can beat a Borgie, all right? Absolutely, except a Behringer bro. The Behringer bros are the most powerful synth species. Second most powerful is a Borgie. But yeah, the Raspberry Pi format's amazing, especially not so much the keyboards, but the module versions of the Raspberry Pi series by Korg is friggin' phenomenal. If you haven't tried any of them, you're missing out. You can pick them up used for real good price, $500 a pop everywhere. Reverb, Sweetwater, they're awesome. $500 a pop. If I show you this here real quick, this would be a beautiful thing if Moog came out with their synthesizer. This is the Voyager Players Edition. But what a gorgeous middle synth it would be, right? Imagine they came out with the White Knight. Wow, I just figured out that new feature, so it makes my vertical streams more. Yeah, the Stormtrooper Edition. Oh, that would be a cool name. The the Storm, Moog Storm. But they're doing this thing, like they got the name the Moog Muse, so we have to assume the middle child's going to have an M for the name. That's why I chose Maverick. But it seems like they're into sending messages. So the Moog Muse is you receiving a message from the Muse. The Moog Messenger is you sending out messages via the insane CV capability. So I don't know what the third one, because it seems to be in this in the style of sending, receiving messages, music, you know, so that type of genre. So I don't know what the name would be. The Maverick's cool. The Maverick is cool. So maybe if we think of some type of other name, be cool. But they got some good people thinking of the names. So anyways, we move on. So that's what I think. So Korg, I think, is going to continue with their Raspberry Pi series. And I like the idea of the throwbacks to some of their super old vintage gear. That's awesome. So I love the fact that the multi-poly was like an homage to the mono-poly. And I got the Behringer mono-poly and the... I should do a video with both of them. That would be a cool video, actually. The Behringer mono-poly and the Korg multi-poly. And, you know, Borgies. We'll call it the Borgie attacks, you know. Because that's a beast system, that 4-voice paraphonic Behringer multi-poly with the insane, totally out of this world, futuristic, analog modeled behemoth of a synthesizer, the Korg multi-poly. Everybody needs a Korg multi-poly. I just think it's the synthesizer of the year. I think it blows the Messenger away just sound-wise too, but that's just me. I think the analog modeling in that is absolutely ferocious. But it's a digital synthesizer, so if you want the analog feel, I mean, there's no better place to get an analog synthesizer than Behringer. Pro 800, MS1 Mark II, the Poly D. But to me, the best analog synthesizer from Behringer is the Behringer monopoly. Hands down, number one, by far, the greatest of all time. It might be the greatest synthesizer of all time. Might be. But everybody's got their own opinions. So then we move into Roland. What's Roland coming with next? To be honest, Roland to me is the most... It's the most boring, uninspiring synthesizer company at the moment. They don't really have anything exciting coming out. They're kind of just running with their old script, you know. Just PlayStation vibes to the max, just minute upgrades to gear they already have out. Nothing pushing the limits of anything. But the Juno X is the X series is gorgeous. So if I was to predict, you've got the Juno X, you got the Jupiter X. I'd love to see something else in the X series. I mean, if Roland put out a module, a Juno X module and a Jupiter X module, I think they would sell a ton of them. Put out a Jupiter X and a Juno X module and sell it to you for half the price. Man, if you could pick one of those up for under $1,000, I think people would love it. I think people would love it, you know. I think people would love it. And I mean, imagine if you could do they're both super gorgeous synthesizers. You know, the Juno X is amazing. I was thinking about trading my Juno X for an Astrolab though, because don't tell anybody, but I might be going down and getting into some Arturia VSTs. I don't know. But the only way I'm doing it is if I got an Astrolab. So the only way I'm going down the VST road is if I get an Astrolab. Because I feel like an Astrolab is the perfect combination of, the perfect marriage of hardware and VSTs, right? Is the Arturia Astrolab, in my opinion. And I like what they're doing with it. I love the color. I love the aesthetics. But I might just wait a little bit because I feel like they should put out an Astrolab that has for more of the synthesis and not the stage performer. If they put out an Astrolab fully digital keyboard that had way more controls on the panel and that like mapped way more elegantly to pigments, I think that would be killer. That would be killer. So I might go down the VST road soon. I don't know what I'm going to do, but if I do, I'm probably not going to sell the Juno X. I'll probably just pick up an Astrolab, right? I don't know. I might pick up an Astrolab. But if I get an Astrolab, nobody can say that I moved to VSTs because that's still hardware, baby. You can call it a VST in a box. I call it heaven in a box, okay? I call it stairway to heaven in a box is the Astrolab. I think the Astrolab right now gets no love because it doesn't got enough knobs on it. And all the synth bros love knobs. You know what I mean? One thing about the synth bros, they love knobs. Okay? Like I said before, the only people that love knobs more than synth bros are I can't say it, but you know who they are. They're the only people that love knobs more than synth bros. You can have your steam pipe back for free. Yeah, the steam pipe was okay. It was just like I told you. If you remove the night verb from the steam pipe, it sucks. And I already had a night verb, and then I got the multi poly and the night verb, and the multi poly can do all the steam pipe sounds. So when because I want to test it, when I had the Erica Synth steam pipe, when I turned off the built-in night verb, basically is what it is. It's like a half a night verb in there. When I turned off the night verb on the steam pipe, it blew. It sucked. I was like, oh, this is crap. This is like basically the stereo reverberation unit in the steam pipe makes that synth what it is. And if you just remove that, then you're paying what, $1,200 for stupid. So, and I already have the night verb, which is awesome. So I'm not like hating on Erica Synths, the company. I pretty much think that the Erica Synths made that for his. I think he said he has a daughter who's into steam, or sorry, not steam, wind instruments. You know, and basically made that thing for her, is what he did. And it's cool, built like a tank, but after a week with it, I was already bored. Yeah, go buy a bag of knobs if you want some knobs. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate on the Astrolab because it doesn't got enough knobs, go buy a bag of knobs. Fill up your bathtub with knobs. Get in it. Lay the Astrolab across the top of it. Sit in the friggin' bathtub full of knobs and play your Astrolab. And if you feel like there's not enough knobs, stick your hand in the tub, pick up a bunch. Like sit in it like a ball pool at McDonald's playroom. You know, that's what all you guys should do if you're freaking that your synth doesn't have enough knobs. Astrolab too. I think they should call it Astro Pig, but they won't. But I think that name would be insane if they came out with the Astro Pig and it had a full, like, all that empty space on the Astrolab. If they covered that in knobs, right? Kept that the Nest thermostat knob on there. Maybe even put another screen or something where you could see everything going on. That would be crazy epic if they kept the Nest knob, but also added a second screen where you could see the analyzer. You could see the waveforms. You could read stuff. Even a little screen, for example, like on the Matrix Brute, the Poly Brute, the Mini Freak. What's up, Echo? Yeah, if they did something like that, I think it would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm excited for. Like I said, I'm very excited right now for Arturia and Behringer. I think Arturia. I think they. I think as far as in America, the Cream Dream didn't do well, and I think Moog really, as corporate warfare, when they released the Moog Muse, that you could buy it and have it in 3 days. People, I don't know, people were still waiting on their polybrutes for months and months and months after. So I think all the Americans canceled their pre-orders, went and bought Moog Muses, and that really messed things up for Arturia a little bit. But that's just me speculating. I have no inside knowledge of that or anything, and anybody with any inside knowledge will never tell you because they just won't, right? It's just the way it is. NDAs. So that's like the big ones, and then Novation. Novation, I've heard rumblings that Novation's coming with a new polyphonic synthesizer, but I mean, they're just doing great with their Novation circuits. They got a market that's, those little like MIDI controller things they got. That's kind of like what they've been digging into these days. The Novation Peak, the Novation Summit, amazing synthesizers. I know people that have them and they love them and they say that like they're the best, right? Also hybrid synthesizers, digital oscillator, analog filters, made by Chris Huggets, or worked on with. And don't forget, we got the PWM Mantis, which I think is one of the most underrated analog hybrid synthesizers out there. Again, digital oscillator, analog filters. I think it's got no love. I don't know if they have a marketing budget. I know the Synth Mafia screwed them over because they sent them out to all the Synth Mafia. Synth Mafia did one video. Nobody's got a good demo of the Mantis. Nobody. They just took it, made a crappy video, thank you, and didn't make any more. That's the difference in the Synth Mafia and the Synth Renegades. They're mortal enemies. The Synth Mafia gets paid to do videos. They do one, and then they never do another one. And you're just always left wanting more, and you're given this, like, fast food version of a commercial of the synthesizer. The Synth Mafia grabs the synth, throws it on their shelf or rack, and you never hear from them again. You never get a video from them. You never get a live stream from them. And because they're just mercenaries, they work for the synth / money, and that's fine. But when you get a synth renegade out there like Echo Craft, who gets given a Moog Muse or a Moog Messenger, the guy friggin' goes out and just makes 300 videos. So you always got someone to go back to. And Echo Craft has the best Moog Muse videos on the internet. Hands down. He's got 12 of them. He's got the best Moog Messenger video on the internet right now. He has the best Moog Messenger demo on the internet. And it's not your fast food nonsense, okay? This is like high class, 5-star, 5-course meal video you're getting from Echo. When Echo gives you a Moog Messenger video, you are getting farm-to-table synth content from one of the best synthesis / musical, electronical music artists on the planet right now, Echo Craft. You're getting farm-to-table synth content. You're not getting Midlife Chillis's Big Mac version of a Moog Messenger video where the dude's just talking, cut scenes nonstop, and you get like 10 seconds of sound, and then you're left with a bad stomach and you got to go to the can. No. When you watch Echo Craft's content, you get that primo. You get a 5-course meal. You get pros and cons. You get opinions. You get a little bit of bafangool. And then you get sounds. You get demos. You get a taste. You get a guide live, real time. Echo Craft, no one gave me a free Moog. That's debatable. That's debatable. I'm reading on the forums that you were signed and there's an NDA and you're working for Moog. And that's cool, bro. Congratulations. I hope it's not true, but if it is true, congratulations. And also, if it is true, you're doing some of the greatest content for Moog that Moog has ever done, ever, right? And I think so. But what I'm saying is, when you leave an Echo Craft video, you're not left with gut rot and having to run to the can. When you finish an Echo Craft video, you feel nourished. You feel fulfilled. You feel satisfied. You feel energetic. You feel like you've just eaten a can of Popeye spinach. When you leave a Patch Dog video from Behringer, you feel like you've just eaten a grass-fed ribeye steak, Wagyu beef. You finish a Patch Dog video from Behringer on a synthesizer, you go for a 5K run, come home, and then you bench press 250 pounds. And you've never worked out in your life. But you just feel that energized now because you've got the real thing. You got someone out there who's doing the real thing. All right? When you leave a Synth Mafia video, you feel dirty. You feel dirty. You feel like you just left a Super 6 motel and you had too many drinks and you did something you shouldn't have done. Everybody knows when you watch a Synth Mafia video, you feel like you just, you feel like you kind of, it's almost like, after I finish watching a Synth Mafia video, this is like a natural reaction for me. I check my back pocket to see if my wallet's missing. And then I'm like, why am I checking my back pocket? I feel like I've just been robbed. I've been robbed of 15 to 20 minutes of my time of a crap video that's full of nonsense, barely any sound, and full of jump cuts, and full of flim-flam, and full of artificial ingredient glaze. So every time I watch a Synth Mafia video, I check my back pocket. My wife was like, why do you keep touching your butt? I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like someone stole my wallet. You see my wallet anywhere? And she was like, you've been in the studio watching Synth Mafia videos for the last hour. And I was like, I know. I got to get a shower. That's what I feel like. Echo Craft, thank you. Love you. No Diddy. Thank you. Love you. No Diddy. Yeah, I love you too, man. No Diddy. Banana Rider. What do we got? Hans paid by Moog too. Rumors are going around. I don't know. Rumors are going around, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Hans sent me the receipts. So Hans bought his Moog Messenger. He didn't get it for free. So what do I got? Echo, thank you for the $2. Banana Rider, thank you for the $2. Banana Rider, thank you for the $4, bro. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8. Sweet. 6 more bucks. I'm going to get an Italian sub. That's perfect. $8. I'm 70% towards an Italian sub, baby. Makes it all worth it when I can go get that Italian sub, oil and vinegar, extra mayo, 2 ketchups in a cup on the side to dip the butt end of the sandwich in. Once all that meat is gone, you're left with that piece of bread. So appreciate it, fellas. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, it's been great. But that's my predictions. Can I bill you through this here? Yeah. Just send Samurai Productions at gmail.com. Send any outgoing invoices to my accountant, and they will be sure to take care of you, Hans Volt. Even I paid my Behringer gear. The price feels like a sponsor. I agree. I agree 100%, Thomas Jan. When I buy a Behringer synthesizer, the price is so fair and so clean and natural that I feel like I've been sponsored by Behringer as well. Behringer's prices and quality ratio is the highest in the industry, that when you buy a Behringer synthesizer, they are sponsoring you because they're giving it to you. Let's call that for a bro price, and they love it, and you love it, and everybody loves it. And the only people that don't love it are the people who've spent a fortune and went into debt buying synthesizers from the big boys, and now they see all these beautiful analog recreations coming up from Behringer, and they have to justify their foolish purchases by hating on a company that's out there for the working man. That's what it is, and there's only one way to do it. You know what I mean? There's only one way to do it. Yeah, only one way to do it. And that's why we always got to shout out to Uli, shout out to Patch Dog, Bar Talk, Gato Boss, and this new Patch Dog. What's that young lady's name who just did the Behringer Truth video? Does she got a real name? Is she going by an alias? I'd love to shout her out because she did an absolute fantastic demo. She's got the X factor. She's a pure natural. And to be honest, we need more chicks like that doing videos, especially for all the synth bros out there. Because as handsome as you are, Patch Dog, as handsome as Bartok and Gato Bus are, nothing wrong with a well-spoken, funny chick like that doing a video once in a while, especially for all the bros out there. So thank you, Behringer, for that. You know what I mean? We appreciate it. And she's a super talent. So that's cool. I need pre and post workout after watching Hans Volt. Dude, when I get a notification of a Hans Volt video, that's what I do. I dart in the house, pour up a pre-workout, bang it down, and then as soon as I'm done, I go grab a protein shake and knock that back too. And then chug a coffee, and then eat a steak, and then it's a good day. Bartok's pretty handsome, yeah. Anna was always my chicken since. Anna? Cool. I don't know if that's her name. I suppose I could go back. She probably says her name at the beginning or something. Who knows? But anyway, she's cool. Cool new talent. I dig it. I haven't been checking out too much of the mixing gear from Behringer and stuff yet, but I do love all the content from all you guys so far. And the best part in that video that she did was when they cut the scene and they almost had like the producer telling her how to sit and how to smile and all that stuff. And I thought that was really funny. That's some super layered content that thinkers love. So Behringer's creative team is insane. Behringer's creative team is almost up there with WWE World Wrestling Entertainment's creative team. It's awesome. Our band uses Behringer mixing gear. Yeah, I mean, I got rumors going around that a load of professional studios, they get given gear by big companies, and when they get given that gear, they're told they're not allowed to buy Behringer gear or rep Behringer gear because there's competition, you know. And that's why you don't hear a lot come out from professional studios talking about Behringer gear. They got it, but they're not allowed to talk about it. And that's just the facts, and that's just the truth. What's up, Jason? All right, I got to go get some breakfast. So to recap, just to put a little bookend on the whole thing, the Moog Maverick, a 5-voice polyphonic synthesizer, is probably the next synth coming. It'll be the middle child between the Messenger and the Muse. Then we've got Arturia with the SuperFreak coming, most likely, which will be a 49 key plus, 24 voice, 12 minimum plus, polyphonic hybrid monster, digital oscillators, analog filters, with hopefully full touch key bed, but at the minimum polyphonic aftertouch. Then we move into Behringer. The fortune telling and the clairvoyance is predicting the Juno clone from Behringer coming out, the Neptune 80 with a new name and a beautiful aesthetic look, 8-voice polyphonic aftertouch, gorgeous. That's coming, maybe the BMX drum machine DMX clone. And then we move into Korg. Korg is probably going to take their time now and develop another Raspberry Pi module, but it's hard to do now when you've got this absolutely epic multi-poly desktop. They'll let that simmer for a while because they sold so many of them that I think they got 10 or 12 more container ships coming full of multi-polys. EchoCraft couldn't even get his multi-poly. They sold that many of them. They're on back order everywhere pretty much, except for Sweetwater. Might have a couple left around. Have a good day. We'll see you tonight maybe. Good luck. Yeah. So, and what was the last one? And Roland. Who knows what Roland's going to do? You can't expect anything exciting from Roland, but you can expect minor changes and minor boom, 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 boom. So, oh yeah, don't forget the Prophet 5, the Pro 16 clone from Behringer, LM drum. All right, so I got to go. Like, share the video, subscribe, do all that stuff. And it's always a good time. Slew, slew.